Remember when you were told not to get in the car with strangers?
Or when you were told not to take drinks from strangers?
Or when you were told not to meet strangers online unless it was in a public place?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And quickly to answer those questions, yeah, of course. What's your point? Anyway, if you've seen this movie and you heard those questions, those answers make perfect sense. Now, this week, because the last few weeks we haven't had a topic, quote unquote, we've just done some things that we happen to have not seen. And this was 2020's
Spreee.
Starring one of the stars of Stranger Things
and Free Guy.
One of the Stranger Things actors not known as Wolfhard.
Yes.
Because he's the one that seems to really be the breakout.
Yeah.
It's weird. Everyone knows Millie Bobby Brown, but she doesn't... I haven't seen her in a lot of other stuff yet.
The one that plays Dustin had that really bad prank show.
I mean, it was just
a bad prank show.
It was just a prank show. He didn't make it bad. I mean, it was better than Ashton Kutcher thinking he was funny. But anyway, that's not really the point of this episode of this show. So the basic premise is this guy. What was his name?
Kurt Kunkel.
Yeah,
yes.
Kurt. Wants to get a following on social media. He'll do anything for it. And after years, he finally devises a plan because he has a friend that actually has a following, and he's
a kid that he used to babysit.
And he's he decides he's gonna go on a murder spree. That's why it's called Spreee, but it's also because
that's the name of their
version
fake in-universe rideshare.
It's
yeah,
like a Uber or Lyft.
Or a Lyft, yeah.
Except it's Spreee. And he gets people in his car, and he gives them laced water, and then he murders them.
I mean, the laced water is usually what murders them.
Some of
it's other stuff, but
I think he's lacing it more to knock them out. But it's not really the point. The point is he's killing people on camera, and he's got a bunch of cams all around his car, and he's streaming all this live, hoping that it'll increase his visibility and and that's basically the entire premise.
So completely inspired by this movie.
Anyway.
Yes.
Is there anything else you could think of to say before we show the trailer?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, go and watch it before we spoil it, and it was up on something.
I think someone even put the whole thing up on YouTube.
Yeah,
he said.
It's up on YouTube.
But we don't recommend
Kurt's
people
World
looking
96.
At illegal.
But
rippings.
Do not watch that because that is illegal and completely bad.
And we certainly
have never done anything like that before.
Well, we didn't with this. We watched it on Hulu, right?
We watched this on Hulu, I think.
His brother actually suggested it. But anyway, here's the trailer.
For all of you out there who don't know me, get ready. Because you're about to know me. Hey, I don't see any cops around. Should I blow this next one? Fucking hey! I'm Kurt. Hey guys. Hey guys. What's up, guys? We're gonna inject this right on the label.
Does this water have a taste to it?
Airtight. Well, watertight. If you're not documenting yourself, you just don't exist. The mouthfeel on this, otherworldly. What we're doing here is important. We're creating a brand. You're following me, you guys! Fuck yeah!
The fucking gun?
You don't know what this job's like. You don't know.
that fucking gun
no.
away.
Where are you going?
I'm taking you home.
This is not the way to my fucking house, Kurt.
Oh, no, not your home. My home.
Well, all right.
I mean, it sums it up.
Without ruining everything.
Right.
So anyway, before we get into the behind-the-scenes information, we have to tell you why we're really here. I should just have this, by rote at this point in my head. But, see, you might think that we do this show because we enjoy horror movies, which is partially true. It's partially true. But the main reason, the biggest reason, is we pimp ourselves out to whatever corporations want to write us a check. And then we tell people how amazing their products are.
Yes.
Even if they're not.
Yes.
Because some of these we certainly wouldn't use today. You'll see why that is in a second. But we do support this actual product that really exists. And they only paid us, a huge sum to advertise it. Anyway, Gory Story Time is brought to you by Kunkel Springs Bottled Water, the only water guaranteed to help with that super restful quality, even forever type sleep. Kunkel Springs is not certified by any government agencies because Kunkel cares about customers, not countries. And remember, Kunkel Springs isn't for kids unless they're like super annoying. Kunkel Springs, by the time they taste anything weird, they're sleeping.
And by Now That's What I Call Creepy, the perfect playlist CD for stalking, harassing, kidnapping, and more. Hell, if you just want to be a creep, this is the mix for you. Songs include Every Step You Take by
The Police.
Young Girl by Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, Psycho Killer by Talking Heads, Timothy by the Buoys, and 8 more disturbing tracks. Now That's What I Call Creepy. Look for it today.
All right. I do recommend those songs. I don't recommend having a playlist to be a creep. See what I'm saying? I mean, I do. Then don't, cancel the check. Because that's real.
Yes.
Anyway, let's get into the behind-the-scenes information, or as you like to call it, the...
Meat and beef of the show.
Because meat and potatoes
is
too high
you.
in carbs.
Yeah.
That's not why it started, but hey. You want to go first, or you want me to?
I'll go first.
Okay.
When building the character of Kurt Kunkel, Eugene Kodlerenko...
Aren't you glad you said you would go first?
Yes.
It's
and
like
star Joe
Kolyarenko, I think.
Eugene and Joe watched
Joe
cringe
Curie.
compilations and videos from people without a big following.
Writer and director Eugene
Yep.
Kolyarenko said he did 40 all-nighters writing all the comments and usernames that appear throughout the movie.
During the scene at the taco truck, a comment on Kurt's stream says, "What up? I'm Jared. I'm 19 and I never fucking learned how to read." Oh.
It's literally censored, so you would say
yeah.
effing.
Effing. Whoops. In reference to the famous Vine by Josh Oval, who plays Bobby in the film. I knew I recognized him.
The only two scenes in Spreee were filmed with a film camera.
I wonder which ones those were.
The ones that weren't like his dash cam.
Okay. Sure. For the Spreee app boot, red lines spring on a black screen to form the brand's name resembling Uber's boot.
And 8 and 9 are mistakes, so we're going to skip one of them. Where are we? Okay. Elliot Rodger was a key inspiration for the character of Kurt Kunkel.
All right. The various video blogs for Kurt's World were shot a few months before production began on the movie.
Kyle Mooney only worked for 2 days on this film.
When Kurt heads to Bobby's house to confront him about Bobby not promoting his live stream, Kurt mentions that he has 7 kills so far. However, he has only killed 6 passengers in his car that night, which foreshadows the reveal that he killed his mom in the beginning of the movie.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
When Kurt posts a poll on his live stream near the end of the film, the percentage bars for the 3 options begin at 0% and rise and fall incrementally, 1 percentage point at a time, never adding up to 100%. The 3 options should always add up to 100% because that is the total of all votes counted at any given time.
DJ Uno shoots through the windshield with a gun, hitting the police officer, but there is 0 damage or effect on the windshield at all, and Kurt keeps driving it after with no damage on it.
All right.
So that sounds like a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. So was the part about not adding up to 100%.
And apparently so was the part about swearing.
Anyway, anything else you want to talk about in as far as the plot goes? I mean, it does have David Arquette in it. It takes it. I have to. Well,
Yes.
I'll get into that
Well,
with our favorite and least favorite things.
Just as without getting into the why it's good or bad, it has a lot of people you'd recognize.
It does.
It does.
It does. I mean the main
with
guy
Joe
is on
Keery,
Stranger Things, so if you
David Arquette,
right,
what's her name's gay brother?
that
Frankie something or other.
Ariana
Ariana Grande's brother.
Yeah.
Frankie Grande.
Is it Frankie?
It's Frankie.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I don't know enough of his stuff other than a
The
little bit on
main
Nickelodeon.
comedian girl is someone.
Yeah.
I knew that Bobby was someone.
But anyway, let's get into our least and most favorite things because I have more to say on what you just said. Let's
Yes.
talk about our least favorite things first. You go first.
My least favorite thing is right near the beginning. I think it's the first guy that it shows Kurt kill. It just made me uncomfortable because it seemed very much like the liberal people who were making the movie were trying to make this guy look like a...
Stop saying that because here's what really happened. And stop making the show political. That's not this show.
I'm not trying to.
You literally are. Okay.
That was my least favorite thing was that.
Okay. What he means is the character was obviously racist, and actually the complaint he had at the time, because I was there when he complained it, there was 2 parts. He said, I don't feel bad that he's going to die, and you're supposed to feel bad for the victims. That was the first thing you said, and now you're trying to say they were making him like Trump. No, they weren't.
No, I didn't say...
I know,
No,
but-
they were wrongly making him like a Trump supporter.
Except literally there was nothing that made it say that.
They gave him the American
You're
flag
just-
background and an eagle. He said that he was proud, and it's like these
Whatever.
are not.
The point is, like, your literal first immediate problem at home was, well, if I'm supposed to hate that this guy's going to die, they didn't do it right because I'm glad.
I mean, yeah, he makes
that
good
was-
people anywhere look bad just by like don't have an American flag and then be that way.
Again, no,
That was literally why it bothered me.
no, it bothered you that he was racist and being killed, and you were supposed to feel bad for him. It's like, why am I supposed to feel bad for this guy? You literally
Okay.
said,
One of us remembers wrong, and the other one's
I'm
me.
going to record audio the next time we watch a movie. So when he says that's not what I said, I'll play the audio. I'll send it to Colin ahead of
That
time
is
so we can
a
cut it in.
Perfect idea, because then he'll prove me right.
Never happened. Not going to start now. 21 years. Anyway, my least favorite thing was the fact that the main guy I recognized from Stranger Things. His dad was played by David Arquette. Like, the fact that I kept recognizing people bothered me a lot because it's supposed to be, it's you can't even say found
It's
footage
an
because
updated version of what a found footage would be.
it's supposed to be he uploaded the footage himself to the internet, but it's still found footage technically is what I would call it. because someone actually found his stream.
Right. I mean, Joe Puri actually like made the Instagram page and posted a lot of those videos apparently. So
The point, though, is if you're supposed to be like the best thing about the first Paranormal Activity as far as realism is
who were they?
right. They weren't anyone you'd seen in a bunch of stuff. The second one, I think, was where they, or was it the third, where they brought in one of the actresses who ended up being a daughter on Last Man Standing.
Yes.
And it's like
It was only
takes
years
you
later
out.
that I realized.
Right, but it takes you out of it. I think it might have been before she was on that show.
It was.
But it always pulls me out of it if I recognize someone and they're not just playing themselves. Like if David Arquette somehow just lived down the street from him and had called his ride service, that would have made sense. But no, it was his father who was a DJ and made beats. Like he also was a DJ and made beats. It was a dumb subplot. It wasn't necessary. It's like he thinks he's a great DJ and then he worked at a like adult club.
A strip club, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like no. But anyway, yeah. So my least favorite thing and this will come up anytime there's a found footage movie.
With people.
It's like if you recognize them and it's not like, oh look, we happened to pick up this celebrity or we happened
Right.
to, they have to be playing
Because there
themselves
would
or
be
it
a
pulls
good
me
excuse
out.
for that.
Right.
But no.
Like yeah, the fact that he was driving their version of Uber, the chances are maybe David Arquette has called ride services.
I mean, probably.
Like
If he doesn't
a lot of
want to
people do.
drive sometime, like, I get it.
But that's where the jokes at the beginning came from with those questions. It's like, you're not supposed to take drinks from people. The guy drugged water. You're not supposed like drinks that you don't know who prepared
happened
them
to
or
him or whatever, right.
You're not supposed to take rides from strangers. You're not supposed to meet people online and
unless
not
it's in public.
to be safe. And
All these people are doing
rideshare
is,
services are literally, let's take those 3 super dangerous things and make them one super dangerous ride.
I mean,
And it's dangerous for the drivers too,
yeah,
because they don't know who they're
because-
picking up.
Exactly.
It's like if you're like, I mean, well, that actually happened later in the movie. I'm not going to say what happened, but someone picked up someone that they
It
shouldn't.
wasn't a safe idea. So favorite things, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, probably just the idea that as time progresses, found footage movies will too, and having it be like someone's stream, someone's videos online,
they've done
their
a
internet
couple.
presence.
They've done like dark
Unfriended.
web, and yeah,
Unfriended, the first one was
yeah,
better.
Yes.
But like the idea that they're going to slowly also
It's not going to be,
Get-
oh, we found these videotapes from the 80s, because eventually it's like, well, wouldn't they all have been found at this point?
or the people who exist now won't know how to play them, so it won't matter.
Right. Oh, dude. I mean,
But like the idea that it'll progress as like, okay, live streams, internet presence, YouTube videos, these things are things that people can actually find. But there are also enough smaller nobodies online where you could
never
actually
know.
just stumble across something like
Right.
this.
and, you know, they showed that the guy had faked some stuff trying to get clicks where he's like, look, I'm giving money to a homeless person. Oh, he actually just, you know, bought food and stuff and gave it to other homeless people.
And then he was
didn't
like
buy
there next to
alcohol.
him dancing. And it's like, well, hold up.
Right. And it's like, in the context of the movie, yeah. But anyway, my favorite thing, because I was just going off on yours, my favorite thing, I have to say, was when his no longer friend that was like, hey, you're sick, get out of my house.
Bobby, yeah.
Yeah. When that happened, like the death that ensued,
Oh my gosh.
I loved it. I loved it a lot. I thought it was great. Him getting back in the car just covered in blood, like it was amazing. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
That's the
That's
blood
him
he was
showering
showering. Yes.
So that was my favorite scene.
Absolutely. I get it.
Oh, you know what we didn't do when we did our facts? The
Oh, the
Rotten
Rotten
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes scores.
sorry we're late with this. Sometimes we do things out of order because we're just
Bad.
brain dead at some points. For those who don't know, we like to give the Rotten Tomatoes score, and Rotten Tomatoes is a website that just takes all of the like official reviewers that have reviewed a movie, and they categorize them either positive or negative, and they just give you their percent is the amount of positive reviews. So the lower it is, the less positive reviews. A lot of people get mad at that. They're like, why? That movie, I like that movie. Why is Rotten Tomatoes saying it's a 50? It's like Rotten Tomatoes isn't saying that. The
Rotten Tomatoes is
consensus
telling you
that
what the
50%
consensus
of
was.
50% of reviewers said it was good, and the other 50% didn't. That's how it works. And then they also have a section on their website where, as a viewer, you can click on it, and it's the people's one.
I've never figured out how to work that, but it's there.
So
the critics
yes,
have the consensus at a 68%.
which is higher than the people who have it at 60%. And like I disagree.
I don't agree
with
with
the people,
either of them.
but I disagree with the people more.
Yes.
I will say it's a very funny movie.
Yeah, I didn't know what exactly to see coming. I had seen a couple of clips here and there a couple of years ago when
It
it
had
first
some
come
good
out.
splatter. It had some tension, but it was also a very funny horror movie.
Yeah.
It's horror first, but it's comedy too. Like if you're gonna list it,
Almost equal parts.
Yeah.
And
it's very funny.
I mean the special effects that they used
We're
for
pretty
the
good.
blood
It
and
looked
the
like
gore,
a lot of it seemed to be like
practical.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it had to kind of be practical for them to work it around what they were doing. I mean,
There was a couple things I noticed, but
yeah.
still.
I mean, I remember there was a time in movies where they wouldn't even let a person drive a car in the movie.
Oh, you mean when they had the green screen behind them? That's like old black and white stuff. Like they did that in Psycho.
And
But
they
anyway.
do that in some sitcoms and stuff where they just don't let you drive. This guy was driving the whole time.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it?
I'm probably going to give this an 8.
I was thinking an 8.
Yeah.
It's not perfect by any means. It definitely
No.
pulls you out if you've recognized if
you
you're one
go
of
into
the everybody who's seen an episode of Stranger Things
or Scream.
or Scream.
Any of the Screams.
Yeah, like if you watch Harvey Danger, you're gonna recognize Ariana Grande's brother.
Yes, if you're a devout Ryan Reynolds fan and you watch all his movies that come out, Free Guy was a huge blockbuster.
I mean-
and this guy was a main character.
But okay,
I mean, it was a pretty big one.
no, you liked it, but if you like it, you assume it's rated well. It was rated
well.
Anyway, the point is, we both gave it an 8. It's very funny. We highly recommend this movie. It's not the scariest movie for a horror show, but like we also like horror comedies, and like if you watch our 200th episode, which is on my YouTube channel, go back and check it. You'll see that we definitely
Like,
have-
I could see this 30 years down the line being a
Can
classic.
I finish what I was saying? Because you're
Yes,
interrupting me.
you can.
We went over our top 5 of a bunch of subgenres, and horror comedies were on there. And I don't know, I'd have to look at the list again, but this might have weaseled its way in
It
because
might
of
have.
the humor.
It
I'd
might
have to
have.
really look. But anyway, why don't we
definitely.
throw it to the stuff over there? And
You can watch this show on channel 1076 on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook. And when I say like us, I mean like Gory Storytime. I mean like Fact TV. I mean like us, like us, like us. You can watch the live stream sometimes if you're on Fact TV. I do a few shows here, actually.
Yes.
And a lot of them live stream. Not all of them, because there's
Not
one
all
that
of 'em.
wouldn't be appropriate to, just in case.
Right.
Anyway, next thing.
You can go to fact8.com and watch a bunch of the back episodes of this show and a bunch of the other entertainment that they have. There is a lot.
There is. You can also follow me on Twitter. Or not him too, but you can follow me. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
I'm at Jiggly Firmbrain. I don't talk about the show unless he says something funny about the show.
He literally just tweets out things that I've said, and I said a couple things today that he didn't send out, and I was annoyed. He's like, my phone's way over there. But anyway, so
It's a good excuse.
no, it isn't.
I don't care.
And also check out my YouTube channel. It's Juggalo Jakes. You can find it by Googling or going and searching for Gory Storytime, and you'll also be able to find Fact TV's page there too, their channel. So check that out. They have a bunch of the stuff up there. They have some episodes of this that, they have some that are on both, but they have some before I started putting them all on there. And then I have some like early episodes too. So music videos, bunch of stuff. So please like and subscribe. That's awesome to both. And that's about it, right?
Yeah, so I would definitely find yourself a way to watch this movie if you've got Hulu. It was
don't
up there.
watch it for free on YouTube. That would be wrong.
It would be, because Kurt's World 96 is a criminal for putting it up there that way. All right, so don't watch it that way.
Definitely don't.
But until next time, I'm your host Jason.
I'm his co-host and father Craig.
And sweet dreams.